Hello students, welcome to the video of cursors. In this video, we're going to learn how to create a cursor and how to implement it. So to start with, what is a cursor? Why we use this cursor? Imagine a situation, normally we'll use a select statement in order to retrieve the records from the table. And we can retrieve any number of records at a time. But indirectly, a cursor is helping for us. So about that cursor only we're going to learn. So how to create a cursor and how to manipulate it in order to select the statement or select the records from the table. So PLSQL uses the cursors to allow the rows of a query to be accessed one at a time. So using this cursor, PLSQL allows us to access the records in the table one at a time. At a time, a cursor can point to only one particular record in a table. And a cursor acts as a pointer. This is what I've said just now. Cursor acts as a pointer to a particular row of a query. So in your table, you'll have any number of records. And in order to identify one particular record, we can use this cursor. A cursor can be advanced one by one to access the next row. So cursor has to be incremented one by one. We can't retrieve all the records at a time. So when the cursor points to one particular record, it will fetch that record and display as output. Next it will go, it advance to the next record. So it can't fetch all the records at a time. A cursor must be declared and opened before it is used. So whenever you are going to use a cursor, you have to declare it and then open it. And when it is not needed, you have to close at the end. Once the cursor is open, if you are opening the cursor, then the rows of the query result can be fetched using the fetch keyword. So using this fetch keyword, you can fetch the records from the table one at a time. You can't fetch all the records at a time. You have to fetch one by one. So how many types of cursors do we have? The first type is implicit cursor. As the name states, the cursor is implicit. So we need not declare this. By default, PLSQL and MySQL has this cursor. Using when we use DML statements such as insert, delete, update, select, when you use all those things, automatically the implicit cursor is implemented. But whereas the second type is explicit cursor, where the users have to create the cursor on their own using the keyword cursor. So about this explicit cursor only we are going to see in this video. So how to declare a cursor? So syntax for that is declare. After that you have to provide the cursor name, space, you have to provide the cursor keyword, for keyword, select keyword, and then the statement, whatever the statement you want to fetch. The field names you have to specify. And in order to use the cursor, you have to use these three statements mandatorily. So what are those three? First one is open, second one is fetch, and third one is close. So first you have to declare a cursor. After declaring, you have to open the cursor. After opening, you have to fetch the records from the cursor. And after fetching, you have to close. So this is the hierarchy of using cursors which we have to follow mandatorily. So to start with, first we'll see about open. So what is this open? It initializes the result set for a cursor. So whenever we want to start a cursor or create a cursor, we have to open the cursor first. And but before fetching any row in the result, the cursor has to be open. That's what is mentioned in our previous slide also. So before you want to access your data, first you have to open your cursor. So syntax for opening a cursor is open cursor name. That's it. So whatever cursor you are declaring, you have to open here. After open, the next command is fetch. Fetch means you have to retrieve the records from the result set. So it retrieves the next row from the cursor. So cursor will point every row in the table, and the next row it will just fetch it out and display as a result. And the syntax for that is fetch cursor name into variable list. And once after opening and fetching, the last part is the closing part. So when you have to close the cursor before you end the program, so it deactivates the cursor and releases the memory associated with that cursor. Whatever memory is allocated for that cursor will be removed, and the syntax for that is close cursor name. And we have one more keyword which has to be used, that is not found handler, and this is an optional one because according to the situation we have to use this. In the program I'll just tell you what is that situation. So the situation when the cursor could not find any row thereafter because that is the end of the result set. Imagine you have around 5 records in the table. The cursor is pointing to the first record. It is fetching the first record and displaying as output. Now it's going to the second record. It is fetching the record and displaying. Likewise, it's going up to fifth record. Now it fetches the fifth record and displays. Now after 5th it goes to the 6th, but 6th there is no record. So at that time my MySQL or PLSQL must issue one message or issue one statement, that is record not found. So in order to find that, I am using, if data is not available, my MySQL has to find that the data is not available. So how to make it tell? By using this not found handler. So this is like an exception. This is an exception. Again, in exception video we'll be seeing about this. So the syntax for that is declare continue. Declare continue is a keyword, and handler for not found set. Not found is a keyword here. Set variable name equal to value, whatever the variable name want to give equal to value. So we'll see about this in the video so that you can understand. Now directly we'll go to the program. Hello students, welcome to the practical implementation video on cursors. So in this video I'm going to show you how to create and implement a cursor. So in order to do that, we are going to create a table. So already I've created a table known as employee. Just I'll show you the table. Select asterisk from employee. Now this is the table. So I'm going to create a cursor for this particular table over here. So in order to do that, first I have to create a delimiter, and then create a procedure, create procedure, and my procedure name is, imagine like sample cursor, and begin. And after beginning I have to declare a variable. So I'm going to declare it as emp name, and the data type is varchar since it is a string. So I've declared a variable name known as emp name, and after declaring the variable name, next I want to declare for EID and salary. So what I'm going to do is emp number comma emp sal. So two variables I've declared of integer type. So two variables I've declared of integer type. So now one variable of varchar and two variables of integer type. And I have given some other name in order to make you understand. I can also give the same name whatever is given in the field over here. So after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to declare the cursor. Declare cursor name, imagine I'm giving C1. Declare C1 cursor for select. I want to select all the column names. So EID comma ename comma salary. So whatever the field name is, I'm selecting all the field names from the table employee. And after declaring a cursor, now I've declared a cursor. Now I'm going to open the cursor. Open C1. I'm opening the cursor. After opening the cursor, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fetch the records one by one. So I'm going to give fetch C1 into, and the variable list which I've given in this syntax, that syntax also I've given in the slides to you. So fetch cursor name into variable list. So here the variable list is none other than our emp number, emp sal, and emp name. So I'm going to provide them. So emp number comma emp name comma emp sal, and after that I'm just giving semicolon. Next what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the emp number comma emp name comma emp sal, and notice one point very clearly here. I'm fetching the records from the table employee using the field names EID, ename, salary. So using that field names I'm fetching. After fetching it, I'm storing that into the variables emp number, emp name, and emp sal, and then I'm displaying them. So after this I have to just close my cursor. This also we have seen in our slides. After closing the cursor, I have to end my procedure. So I'm just giving end $. So my query is okay now. I've created a cursor, sample cursor I've created, and my cursor name is C1. So in order to call the procedure, as we already know, you have to use the keyword call sample cursor $. Now you can see here it is fetching only the first record. It is not fetching the second record. The answer for this is because already we have seen in the slides, like at a time the cursor will fetch only one particular record. Now how to increment the cursor to go to the next record? By using the fetch keyword, automatically go to the next record. But here we didn't provide any loop, so that until what time that cursor has to execute, we didn't say that. So for that purpose only in the slides we have seen not found handler. So I didn't use not found handler here. That's the reason I got only one record. Now I'm going to use in another procedure using a not found handler, and then we'll see what happens. So now what I'm going to do is just I'm going to use the one more procedure. So in order to do that, again I'm typing my create procedure. So since I've already done it, I'm using the same thing, create procedure. This time I have to create a separate cursor. So I'm using create procedure sample cursor, and then I'm using the keyword begin, and then declare emp name, same emp number, and this time cursor name also I'm creating as a different cursor. Imagine I'm creating the cursor C2, and after declaring the cursor, now I have to declare a continue handler. Declare continue handler. For this, the syntax is there in the slides which we have seen already. For not found, set. Okay, now for set I have to set a variable, so I didn't declare the variable. So first I have to declare a variable. So I'll declare a variable known as e, which is of integer type. Now I'll declare continue handler for not found, set e equal to 1. So I did declare the e before, that's the reason I have declared the e, and I have used that e here. So now I have to open my cursor, open C2 is my cursor, and after opening, now what I have to do is I have to set the value for my b initially. So set e equal to 0. Initially e equal to 0. Now you will understand why I am doing like this. Now later I am going to use one label here, while e equals 0 to fetch C2 into, and all those things, whatever the variables we created, emp number, comma, emp name, comma, emp sal. So I have provided all the variable names. If e equal to 1, then I have to leave L1. So we have used leave instructions earlier, and end if semicolon, and then select emp number, comma, emp name, comma, emp sal. So I'm selecting all the variables, and after selecting I'm just giving end while statement first, end while semicolon, and then end $. Now I'm getting one error, variable or condition declaration after cursor or handler declaration. Okay, now I declared a variable after I declared the cursor. That's the reason showing that error. So what I'll do is I'll just change it. Begin emp name. Here itself I'll declare one more variable, that is e. After this I'll declare my cursor, I'll declare my cursor. After declaring my cursor, I'll declare my continue handler. I'll declare my continue handler, open it, set it, file, fetch, if, and if, select, val. Now this is fine. Earlier I got an error because by mistake after creating a cursor I have declared the variable. So please note that point very clearly. Before creating the cursor you have to declare all the variables whatever you want to create. Now after this I'm just going to call my procedure sample cursor 1. Now if you see in this, I'll just explain the program over here. Now when this procedure calls, it comes inside the procedure and we declared around 4 variables. One variable is for checking whether the records are there or not. So other 3 variables already we have seen in the previous program. So I'm declaring a cursor known as C2, and now also I'm fetching all the records, all the fields from the table, all the records. And after that I'm declaring a continue handler, and if it is not found, see I have 2 records in my table. Now if the records are not found, then the value will be set as e equal to 1. That's what I said to my MySQL. If you are not finding any record, set the value for e as 1. If you are finding for the value for the record, set the value for e as 0. So initially I have set the value for e as 0. So it comes inside while e equal to 0. Yes, e is equal to 0. So it comes inside and fetch C2 into EMP number. Just now we have done in the previous program. So I'm going to fetch all the information and keep it inside the variables EMP number, EMP name and EMP cell. So first record will be fetched like in our previous program and it will be stored. Now it will check for the e value, whether e value is 1. No, e value is not still 1. How it will check? Now in my table I have 2 records. So not found handler will not execute. So e value will never become 1. E value will become 1 only if not found handler is being initiated. It means I must not have any other records in my table. So at that time only e value will become 1. Right now e value is not 1, e value is 0 only. So e equal to 0, right? 0 equal to 1, no, condition is false. So just I am displaying the output. After displaying again the while loop continues, e equal to 0, yes, e equal to 0 only, still it didn't become 1. So again I am fetching the second record. Now notice one point, now I am fetching my second record. After fetching the second record, again it is checking for any other empty cursors or something. No, it is not there. So it comes again, displays the second record also. Again it goes for the while loop. And when it goes for the while loop, when it tries to fetch for the third time, 2 times it fetched, there was no problem. Third time when it starts fetching, there is no record over there. So at that time, automatically this not found exception will be raised and the value will become, e value will become 1. So at that time this while loop will be false. E equal to 0, e value is 1 now. So 1 equal to 0 condition will be false and will come out. After coming out, the value will be displayed. Now when I press this, you can see both the records are getting fetched, not only one. Earlier we didn't give continue handler, so it doesn't know where to stop. Now I gave continue handler, now it knows where to stop and it stopped the program after printing all the 2 records. So this is what I want to just tell you. I hope you understood this. Now we'll get back to the slides. So we came to the end of the video. In the next video we'll be seeing about triggers. I hope you understood the meaning of cursors and its implementation. I'll meet you in the next video. Thank you.